Live from a seedy hotel somewhere in South Salt Lake.
Whoa.
It's the Geek Show.
Is it just because my background's different? It's a
Is
same
that it?
place.
I have stories of these South Salt Lake hotels you speak of, Tony. So don't get me started.
Well, I
Where
just
they find bodies under mattresses.
yeah. Well, we'll start the show, but I want everyone to know that just because I'm using notes doesn't mean that I'm incompetent. Okay, I just want
Or incontinent.
or in on this episode of Geek Show. All right. Let's.
What you got to do, Kerry, is you got to start to walk away, and then one of us will ask you a question, and then you'll go, and then you're gonna be like, "Well, folks," and then you got to walk back to the podium.
Back. Yeah.
Is that it? All right.
I like chocolate chip cookies.
Well, who doesn't?
Giving me stage direction, Rebecca Frost. Everyone, thank you.
Stay tuned because I have a very fun Madam Web report.
I'll just let it die.
The train wreck that just keeps
No,
giving.
I looked
It's-
looked at it yesterday and it was just kind of twitching pathetically. I mean, I think we just need to let it die.
It's gone. Here's the thing: is it's so bad, it's good that it should circle
How
back
bad is it? Oh,
around to
Okay.
like cult status.
Well, we're gonna talk about that coming up.
To the
All
point now where there are stalwart defenders who are screaming that it's the best MCU movie ever, which gets so many. Well, actually,
It's not in the
I
MCU.
mean, it might be.
right, there's that. Let's start there. He's not in the MCU. He's Optimus Crunk. No, he's Lee George Cade. Everybody.
thank you. Make sure to tip your wait staff and try the veal,
All right, thank you very
which I've
much.
never recommended. It's odd.
Quad T, Too Tall Tony is here. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Hello.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me. A pleasure as always. Move on to the next person.
Okay, Robert is here.
Good morning, everyone.
Don't look.
Don't look at
Don't look
me. Don't look at me.
I love getting messages from you midweek, Rob, because there's a 50-50 chance I don't even know what you're talking about. You're I've always thought of myself as an incredibly talented and intelligent person, and then I met you.
And you're like, I confirmed I am one. He's an
Yes.
Yeah. But
All right.
Don't
And
forget
our
our
host,
host. He's back from the seas.
Mr.
Kerry
Kerry
Aquaman?
Jackson.
I have many stories to tell about cruising, and I'll tell them in the after party coming up. So there's your
but Kerry, there's just one question everybody wants answered.
yes.
Did you get your Admiralty recertification?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Of course. That's what you
Have
do
you
on,
guys
on the high
have you guys been
seas.
looking at pictures of the Star Trek cruise that's happening right now?
Yeah.
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 No. What?
It's McFadden's
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
the same yoga outfit that she wore in that one episode.
The Star Trek cruise sounds both awesome and like my worst nightmare. you
Yes.
know?
So like something you want to run and give money to.
It would
Yeah.
be both, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Trust me. It would be both.
I'm hoping to get a actual on the site report from it. I have a friend who's actually on the cruise this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What suite did they get? I was looking at the
I
different
don't
suites
know.
and different suite prices.
Well, again, we'll talk about this in the after party because there are many things you need to know about cruising coming up. I'm just saying I'm just saying it the way Gavin McLeod says it. Anyway,
Are you going to do the thing where you retire on a cruise ship because it's cheaper than retiring?
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Was it your
Oh.
first cruise, Carrie?
No, my
right?
second. But,
Okay.
again,
I'm
that's
re-
all in the after party. I'll
All
tell you
right.
all
Teaser,
about it.
teaser.
I'm
teaser.
retiring on the Fury Road.
That's true.
I'm retiring on the country road. Take me
Somewhere
home.
out in the West Desert.
Yep.
In the West Desert.
Oh
all right,
no.
our
They
lead
went to
story-
Burning Man.
Our lead story, the most important story of the week. Rebecca Frost will agree with me. Lee George Cade will agree with me. Rob will agree with me. I don't know how Quad T feels about this, but we'll see.
What you got?
The most important story of the week. Captain Kirk has one. No.
No, this was the first one in the.
No,
I
I swapped
agree.
order. I swapped order.
It says lead
There we go.
story.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah.
then you should.
I less agree.
Didn't it say lead story?
Yeah,
did.
but I always go and I thought you had a preview story and then you were going to get into the lead story.
No, this is the
Oh.
lead story.
It's all semantics.
I mean, I know we've got trailers and things, but this is the most important thing in the world that's
right.
happening right now. Captain Kirk has one. Janeway has one. Star Trek fans are going to insist on slowly but surely getting every major character a landmark in their hometown to be. Jonathan Frakes, Will Riker, is on his way. Well, hopefully. The city, the beloved Alaskan Trekkies are putting this together. A guy named Cameron Harrison, Patrick Campaign, and Jesse Desmond are hoping to take and make this a physical thing. A proposed bronze statue of Riker mounting a bench.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna
As
sit
only Riker
right
can.
here. I'm gonna try to sit right here.
Right there.
Right in the crotchular area.
Yeah. I hope they leave space.
This is in is it Valdez, Alaska?
Valdez.
Valdez, Alaska. I'm quite hopeful that the project will cross the finish line, he said to the newspaper, which is already has the blessing of Star Trek owners Paramount. They're saying, hey, go ahead and do it, raise the money, make it happen.
We won't give you any.
How
Go
hard
ahead
is
and
it?
raise
No.
that money.
Exactly.
hard is it
You
to
know
get a
that Frakes
statue
is like,
made?
Frakes is like quietly, here's some money.
Hell
See
yeah.
what you can
Yeah.
do.
Paramount says that they are working with Frakes to acquire the use of his likeness should the officials grant permission for the statue and the bench.
Nice.
Did they talk about the Riker Cultural Center where there's like the section on learning how to wash an Irish woman?
Yes, you start from the toes up.
How to
There's a
talk to your
commercial.
twin.
Jesus got a commercial during the Super Bowl all about that.
Right? And then there's like the trombone. You can go up and touch the trombone that Riker touched.
And it gives you
And-
luck
Yeah.
and fertility.
I
Yeah.
pointed out to my husband literally this week about how if you watch Star Trek, Riker's always leaning on something.
Yes.
And he was like, I guess I never noticed. And I'm like, yeah, my man has an injury, so he's always leaning, and that's why he sits weird. And he just like never ever noticed that this was just Riker's natural stance.
Has
I
he
just
noticed that
assume-
Riker walks leading with his forehead? Like he's going to headbutt something?
Well, who
Well,
does?
and the
You're
fun-
right.
And the fun thing about their new uniforms in season 3 that we'll talk about on the Space Show is right now Jonathan Frakes can actually stand up a little bit more.
So was
because
it
he's
back
not-
issues?
He's not confined to the unitard uniform, and now they have two-piece uniforms.
I love Brett said that a Riker trombone is not a legal act in the state of Utah.
Riker trombone. Give him the old Riker trombone.
You show him. It's so much better than the double fist of Kirk. That's
And
another.
Egg Foo also remembers, as I did, Valdez, famous for the oil spill. Yes.
Yeah.
Womp
See,
womp.
what
why
I
I
would
said-
do is I would do a statue of Riker like straddling the oil spill,
See,
as
I
only
want-
he could.
I would do Riker mid-Riker maneuver, so he's got just like
On the
one
chair.
leg up. No,
On
but no, like
put it-
not like approaching a chair from behind and like
Yeah.
mid
One leg up.
position to
Yeah.
like sit in it. Yeah,
That's what it needs to be. There needs to
I
be a
would-
group of chairs, not a bench. A group of chairs, and he's coming over one of the chairs on the back.
I would do it. How you raise the money for this is you set it up at the Valdez, Alaska IKEA store, and the IKEA can just put different benches and chairs and couches under his foot, and that way they pay for it. But you can see different cheap, soon to fall apart IKEA furniture.
You think there's an IKEA in Valdez, Alaska?
I mean, a boy can hope.
The way I see it is if we have one, there must be, right? I don't know. How big is
Surely.
Valdez, Alaska?
I think it's
Okay,
at
I'm
least
googling it.
10
Big enough to get a
10 people.
statue,
Valdez,
apparently.
Alaska. IKEA.
Yeah, how big is it?
I think the answer is small enough to get a Star Trek statue, not big enough.
I don't know. Bloomington's pretty big, and they've got the Janeway statue there.
I mean, if
Fair.
this episode of what's the Jodie Foster show that I'm watching? I just
True
talked about-
Detective?
True Detective. If I'm led to believe that, I have notes. Okay, if I'm led to believe that, Alaska is much of nothing. It's
It
just
is much of nothing.
There are no IKEAs in Alaska.
at all.
God damn it! So you got to drive to Canada?
You gotta be one of those big scary ice road truckers.
I guess so.
Whoa. Population of Valdez is not even 4,000 people.
See, I told you.
It is smaller than Crappity Corners, Oregon.
Let's see. Andrew says, "I want a statue of Bob coming over the couch in Twin Peaks."
The key grip.
Also, happy Twin Peaks Day,
It is
Oh,
Twin
boy.
Peaks Day. Oh, we were
February
talking about that
24th.
earlier. Yeah,
Well, it's a good thing I've got a damn fine cup of coffee.
indeed. She's
That
dead.
that show. Oh my god! I just want to
Yeah.
I want to trim 30% of it out.
I was gonna say I tried to watch it a couple of years ago, and I just
I don't need Bobby. I don't need Bobby riding his motorcycle. Not Bobby. who was the stupid James Dean wannabe kid?
Oh,
had
Austin
a-
Butler.
They had a whole byline of him,
Got him.
riding his motorcycle around the countryside, getting seduced by idiots.
yeah. Yeah.
It's
what I
like,
mean,
just,
like-
just
We
cut
didn't need
that.
I
Was
got
that
like
season
three episodes in, and I was just like, I can't. This is
Yeah, Twin Peaks is one of those shows that I'm like, I know I'll go crazy over it, so I just haven't
will.
started it.
Yep.
Listen, I've got it on VHS if you want to watch it. All right.
Then I gotta track down a
I was gonna
VHS
say,
player,
you got a
Kerry.
VHS player, Rebecca.
I have a
bet you-
PS5 that plays DVDs, and that is
Yeah.
it.
I hear the PS6 has a VHS player.
does.
on it.
Oh, good.
It's
That's
an
good.
extra add-on, but you can
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
It's an adapter. It's kind
Yeah.
of a thing. Anyway.
Yep.
All right. Let's do a little housekeeping and then we'll get into the rest of the news. Of course, Lee George Cade, go to our social medias because Lee still needs your help. He's still delicate. He's still
Fragile, they said. Fragile.
He's fragile.
It's Italian.
Had a little issue this week, but luckily it turned out to be nothing. But still, that visit to the doctor was expensive, and he's got great insurance, but it's still a lot. And he's getting ready to head back to the hospital sometime in the spring. So any amount that you can give, go to our social medias. The Venmo is there. It goes directly to the Cade family, and helps them out. Also, go to our store. Yes, it's a geekshow.store and get our gear. I'm starting to see more and more of these shirts out in public, and if I see you in public wearing them, I will chase you down and thank you.
Even if you're driving.
Even if I will pull. Yes,
I hear the Fashion Doll tee is on numbered days.
it's on numbered days.
We've been saying it for months.
I also got an
honest,
email.
man.
I forgot to bring it with me. I'm terribly sorry to the guy who sent me an email. He said because we talked about the flags and about how the flags will never be mounted on the back of pickup trucks, and he showed me pictures of his pickup truck and he has a sticker, a Geek Show sticker there, but he says I need the flags for the pickup trucks and I'll do it.
Do it.
Is that
and
a threat?
I stand by my offer.
Yeah,
I will send an illustrated postcard to him if he should send us pictures.
they are right there at geekshow.store. And, of course, our Patreon is available where you get the secret show after this show. It's our after party. You also get the Space Show early. You get I was remiss this week about videos. I'm terribly sorry. I'll be sending more Time Closet videos this coming week because I just got back from the cruise thing, and it was a week.
Kerry, we got to play with video last week at the after party because it's not we don't have to hide from copyright on something that we're not actually broadcasting.
Oh, well, let's do that again, shall we?
Yeah, we had some fun.
Because we can talk about these trailers, but we can't show them for some reason.
Yeah, we can show them, but we have to fight a lot with their lawyers.
Yeah,
And
Pain
so-
in the butt.
So in the after party, we will watch these trailers that I'm about to tell you about. We got two
Yeah.
of them. Okay.
Ooh.
First one is,
God,
and I need.
now I gotta figure out the photos real time this time.
No,
You
we're
can
going-
do it. I believe in you.
We're going into Borderlands now.
Okay, I'm ready.
There we go.
Oh,
Captain Kirk has one. Oh wait,
Did you see this trailer?
I
Yes.
did.
yes.
I'm
right.
astoundingly hyped.
Wow.
Yeah. For you guys who played the game, tell me what you think.
They know what the guys look like.
Yeah.
They do know what the people look like.
They
I will
seem-
give them that.
The trailer at least gets pretty dang close to the vibe of the game, I would say.
I would say, yeah.
I'd also say Jamie Lee Curtis just does stuff that thinks she reads a script and says, "This seems fun. I'm doing
Could
it."
be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's
Yeah.
going to be a great Tannis.
Yeah.
She's perfect
And
for that.
and I
role.
hate to objectify a woman, but damn it, Kate
You're gonna-
Blanchett.
I knew you
How?
were
Kate
gonna. I was-
Blanchett is
I'm
so
glad you-
hot in this
Yeah.
trailer.
I'm glad you
Can
two
we
did
talk
it, 'cause
about it?
I was going to do it. She's my
I mean,
favorite Marvel villain.
This sucks though. Like 30 years from now, when she's 80 or however the hell old she's gonna be, I'm gonna be like, gosh, she's hot. She's so
Yes.
hot.
She's incredibly hot in this, and of course, go back and watch Thor. She was fabulous there. It's
true.
But this is I got real Guardians of the Galaxy vibes from this trailer.
Before the end of the trailer, I thought to myself, this has Guardians vibes for sure.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
how many times are we gonna remake Guardians of the Galaxy? Honestly,
I mean,
Well,
if
I
you're going
mean-
to copy something good.
Yeah, make sure you just go back to the Wild Bunch, wash, rinse, repeat.
Exactly. So you've got Kate Blanchett as Lilith, the outlaw leader of the crew on a mission to retrieve a treasure from a vault on a planet she describes as a dumpster fire of a world.
And people
That's
are being
Pandora.
so shitty because her character's really young in the video game. So what?
I don't
They
care.
got a world-class actress to play the
Yes.
part.
I'd
Lean into it.
yes. I want someone with some skills in a role.
Yeah.
I don't need eye candy. Kevin Hart.
You were just calling her eye candy a few minutes ago.
for me.
Respectfully.
Wait a minute.
I'm respectfully calling her eye candy and a great talent.
Kevin Hart is there as Roland, Jamie Lee Curtis as Tanis, Jack Black as the voice of Claptrap the robot.
Because they couldn't rub the salt in that guy's wounds any harder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Tony
Oh.
knows the story.
I know
This
the
must
story.
be your first adventure into Hollywood voice acting.
No, the guy that did Claptrap in the first game got screwed over so bad. It's
Oh, did
First
he?
and second
Yeah.
game. He did both
Second
of
game,
those.
yeah.
And then
Like
they
made-
switched to someone else in the third game and just completely dismissed the guy from the first two.
and he was
Oh.
never really paid
Unceremoniously.
for it.
Yeah, because he
So-
was already an employee of the company, so he didn't
Yeah.
really. He did it just as part of his job because it was fun.
Yep.
Games got really big, and they decided, let's go with someone else.
Yep.
All right. So there. Anyway, go
yes.
watch the trailer or stick around with us for the after party, and we'll all watch it together. How about that?
Yeah.
Geekshowgotthiscovered.com. Then the other trailer that we got this week, which
Don't
was,
mind that. That's Riker.
That's Riker. Was season 5, the final season of Star Trek Discovery. We got our first look at it. It premieres.
Lame.
It premieres April 4th.
Don't make me
on
come over there.
Paramount Plus, and it was filled with farewells. This entire trailer.
Oh,
don't know.
can I clarify why I said lame?
Because it's missing a
'Cause you're
season.
sad- 'cause
Lame
you're
that it
sad
only
it's
got
ending.
5 seasons. Yeah.
Should have got 6.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll do an whole Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing where, like, maybe we won't cancel it just yet. Put the sets back. Put
No,
the sets back.
they did this thing like in the 3rd season where all of a sudden the Federation becomes the most important thing, and I'm like sobbing openly in every episode. And lame.
And I
Jerks.
love Michael Burnham as captain.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
one of my favorite captains. I just
Yeah.
love her. Shaniqua
It's the
Martin
gayest
Green.
crew in Star Trek, and they're like, oh, we can only do 5 seasons.
Girl whose name is Michael.
Yeah, not to be confused with Michael Learned from Trapper John M.D.
Yes.
What?
There's an actress called
Am I having
Michael
a stroke?
Learned. Yeah. She had her own
Not
series
this
called
time.
Nurse as well. Anyway. But it's definitely, got the farewell vibes. Everybody is saying goodbye to each other through the whole trailer.
Spoilers.
Anyway, final season arrives April 4th on Paramount Plus, and Rebecca won't be able to watch it for a while
Nope.
because the Space Show.
I'm doing it in order.
Yes, Cody, I'm that old. Yes.
Yeah, I'm that old too, but I couldn't have pulled that bastard out of a hat. Jeez.
All right. We got some other news happening. Jurassic World, they've got their director, Gareth Edwards.
Well, he showed up with his own dinosaur. Who
This
wouldn't hire him?
man
Doesn't everybody show up with their own dinosaur?
is throwing
Thank you, Rob.
away his career for a paycheck.
No.
In
no.
my humble opinion.
I read an interview with him, and he chased down this project once he heard that they needed a director. He is such a
movie's already
fan. He is such a fan of the first movie. I mean, he was calling it cinematic genius and all
Jurassic
of this.
Park or Jurassic?
The
Jurassic-
Like,
original.
yeah, Jurassic Park is
yeah.
phenomenal.
Just watch.
Do-do-do-do.
Just watch the creator, and all of your concerns will go
No,
away.
Lee, that's what I'm saying. I
Oh,
have
this
to
is the
disagree
guy that
with,
did the
I have to
creator?
disagree
In
with
Rogue
you
One.
on the creator because I
watched it.
hated it.
What?
Yeah, you hate a lot of good things, Rebecca.
I watched it last night. I was going to talk about it in what we watched. I watched it last night.
That's why.
It was fabulous.
That's why I'm like, this man is throwing away his career.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be mean about this, but you did run to see Madam Web.
You did. Gareth Edwards called his
I go to the
parents.
movies every week, man. You want to go?
I'm fragile.
Yes. Don't hurt Lee. Please, Rebecca, don't
No
hurt him.
kill eye. No kill eye.
Exactly.
Kill I.
No, he was so excited that he got this job. He called his parents. and said-
Must be nice, I guess.
and said,
What,
"Guess
to
what?
be able to
I'm
call your parents?
His parents are dead.
I'm
Yeah,
a
he used-
Ouija board.
He used that phone from the Stephen King book. Anyway, no, he was very excited that he got this. He chased it down. So
Okay.
he's taking over for the new one, and he does kind of know his stuff.
Well,
Godzilla.
didn't we already learn that the movie's basically like locked
Like
into
done.
everything that
Pretty
the
much.
studio wants? So what's he gonna do besides just sit there
Well,
and be like, yes?
He did.
He's
What they
just gonna be
said.
real good at making dinosaurs look big.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it.
He took over for Rogue One and made it happen and pretty and cool. And you like Rogue One, so
No, I
See,
don't.
Rebecca didn't like
I
Rogue One,
don't
neither
like
did Tony.
Rogue One.
that's right.
I did like the
I like
creator,
the
though.
second half of Rogue One.
Yeah. So you like the second episode of Rogue One?
Actually, this news that he's involved in it actually made me go, oh, okay, maybe I will go see this one.
I can also see why
might.
his movies aren't somebody's cup of tea. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
they are kind of dour and a little somber.
All right.
Because
I just don't-
dinosaurs
I just-
shouldn't be down
I
and
just
somber.
don't think robots should practice religion. That's
Well,
we could talk
That
about
was
it
your
later.
problem
the
with
next-
the creator?
The next 40 years are going to be a little tough on you
That was your problem with the
because
creator?
if there is a
we can talk about it
also
later.
gonna have to
Buddhism.
get into this.
Buddhism is not a religion; it's a philosophy.
That's true.
Okay, I don't think robots should be having philosophies and opinions.
You bigot!
Wow, listen to this.
What's your take on the robot religion in Futurama? Is that a problem?
I'm all about
a
robot.
cartoon, and I can that's fine because that's a cartoon for funnies.
It's all
Okay, what about
cartoons.
Transformers?
Transformers is
The
absurd.
all spark.
Yeah, I hear there are more that meets the eye though.
All right. Well, let's move on to something maybe a little less triggering for Rebecca. Because I
Robots that have
Doubt it.
beliefs? Get them out of here!
and then I looked at the headline and I went, oh no, she's triggered by Dracula these days.
Here we go.
There's too many Dracula movies coming out, you guys.
I mean,
We got Guillermo's coming out. There's another one. There's like three. This is a third Dracula movie.
and now
we
they're
just
doing
had
a.
The boat one.
And then
now
they
they're
got
doing
they have two Frankenstein movies and a Bride of Frankenstein movie coming up. What's the deal with all these monster movies? You guys?
Everything
know.
old is new again.
I don't know,
Jerry
Jerry.
turned into
what's the
Jerry
deal?
Seinfeld.
But
Now they're doing a bearded Dracula. Look at him.
No, this one's different. He has a beard.
A well-fed, bearded Dracula.
no,
Well,
that's
we've had a tan Dracula already, so I mean,
Yeah.
no, that's Luc Besson, you guys. That's the director.
Oh, he's gonna do
Oh.
something pervy with a minor.
He's the Valerian director. Is going to direct an adaptation of the novel titled Dracula: A Love Tale.
Actually, twist. Mia Jovovich is Dracula because he puts his wife in everything.
Sure.
Everything.
Let's see. Upcoming film being billed as a big-budget reimagining that functions as an origin story for the Prince of Darkness. Caleb Landry Jones, who's worked with Besson on Dogman, will play Prince Vladimir, who becomes a vampire.
Did you say he made a movie called Dog Man?
Yeah,
Is that like a slower paced, less dangerous version of Wolfman?
could be.
Dogs are still pretty dangerous, Tony.
And, and
just
this
said
isn't
less, not
this isn't
not.
Mila Jovovich's husband.
I thought it was.
No, she's married to the underworld guy. This is the guy that made Fifth Element and
Yeah.
The Professional.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
And my favorite, Lucy, where you can use 100% of your
He
brain
was.
to become a god.
They were married 1997 to 1999.
Oh,
Yes. Let me see if
Lucy
this.
was a weird
let me see
movie.
if this will save this for you, Rebecca.
Doubt
Christoph
it.
Waltz is in it.
is he playing Renfield?
Does not say who he's playing.
there's only one Renfield. You just keep going back to Tom Waits.
It's Nicholas
Did
Hoult.
you guys
Nicholas
see
Hoult.
the picture from James Gunn? He shared a picture of the cast of Superman Legacy doing their first table read. Did you guys catch a glimpse of Nicholas Hoult there in the back with his shaved head?
Shaved head.
Is he playing Bizarro? Not Bizarro.
Lex?
Lex.
He's
Luthor.
playing Lex.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's Lex.
great.
Oh, that's right. You weren't
He's a-
around for those
He's
announcements.
a good Lex Luthor. That's awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I got a list here of. We got all kinds of Draculas coming up. You've got
Dracula's.
Dracula.
God, Kerry.
Sorry,
Dracula.
Universal's Abigail in April, which is a reimagining of Dracula's daughter.
Also, the Abigail movie. That one actually looks kind of fun.
Robert Eggers in Nosferatu, which will drop sometime
That's
this
the
year.
other one
Maggie
I was thinking
Gyllenhaal's Bride of Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's got another Frankenstein.
What?
going. Oh, you were down for this. Yes.
God, you go into a coma for 3 months, and what happens?
I know,
Yeah,
right?
Guillermo del Toro's Dracula,
Frankenstein.
or Frankenstein, excuse me, because Jacob Elordi was in it. Or no, Jacob Elordi is in it now because Andrew Garfield was supposed to be in it.
Yes.
But then Andrew Garfield caught wind that Martin Scorsese wants to make a Jesus movie. And so Andrew Garfield was like, I'm going to go chase that, because if there's one thing about Andrew Garfield, he loves to be in a religious movie.
That's
And
true.
so now you got Jacob Elordi as Knock Knock Frankenstein, and Oscar Isaac is there too.
Yeah. And
I have one word: Spider Jesus.
you've got the Wolfman movie from Lee Winnell coming out. I mean, it's all happening. It's all monsters this year.
Sorry, all I can hear is the pounding in my head that says Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, we talked about you. I said I wish Lee was here for this
Oh,
news because it's
man.
two of his favorite things.
I love
to know.
I love Frankenstein, and I love Guillermo del Toro. There
Good to know Lee does not listen to the episode when he's not
know.
on it.
Yeah, because I was unconscious,
I was
Rebecca.
going to say, he might have listened to the episode. He just doesn't remember it.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's whole series. I'll tell you exactly how I went if I listened to it. I started it, I fell asleep, I woke up, Paw Patrol was on.
Oh,
Every time.
Paw Patrol podcast. We don't even know how that
didn't
happened.
Paw Patrol all the way down.
I would be reading a book. I'd get chapter 1. Frodo said, "It's time to go, Sam." How the hell did Paw Patrol turn on?
Paw Patrol.
There we go. That's look for it on the Geek Show app coming soon. Between between tabletop and
Tabletop and Lee's take on Stoned Paw Patrol.
we're going to do a Paw Patrol podcast coming up.
Oh my God, fascism.
All right. All right,
Pod
here we go.
Patrol.
It's Triple P.
That's true.
Paw Patrol podcast.
Here's another one that is going to be interesting. Naruto.
Naruto.
Naruto. You were so close.
It means curly noodle.
Naruto. Okay, there you go.
This show the kids are into?
Yeah, it's
Since my kids were kids.
I was gonna say it's been
It's
around
huge.
a while.
It's huge. I had it again, not in my wheelhouse, but I looked it up, and yes, it's incredibly huge. I looked it up because the writer director is Destin Daniel Cretton, who did such a good job with Shang-Chi. He went to Japan to get permission from the creator of Naruto.
Wow.
Good for him.
Yeah, Masashi Kishimoto. And Kishimoto gave him his blessing and said, I had a long talk with him, spent a few days with him. We talked about the character. He said, I want your input on this. And there we go. So it's happening.
Okay, so I have a question for everybody who's not melanin enhanced in this panel, I guess, who's
Sorry.
watched this. So these kids are training to be ninjas or some
got
kind
the
of
plot
martial
here.
artist.
I got the plot.
Yeah,
Coming
sorry.
of age story focused on a young and enthusiastic ninja named Naruto, who wants to grow up and be the leader of his ninja village, but also happens to have the spirit of a nine-tailed demon fox inside of him. So that's the plot.
Well, they don't have a whole lot of story to work off of. There were only 720 episodes of the anime.
And
Yeah.
a sequel about his kid.
And
It
the
was
sequel.
and before that, it was serialized in Japan's popular weekly Shonen Jump from 1999 to 2014, and that tracked the characters' coming-of-age friendships and all of that. It is one of the world's most popular intellectual properties. Over 250 million copies of the collected volumes have sold in more than 60 countries and territories. Launched several animated series on Cartoon Network, Disney XD, Adult Swim, and other networks. It has been adapted to video game form, continues to be a merchandising juggernaut.
It's one of the first anime series that I caught, that and Bleach, where you could tell where they hit where the manga was at and didn't know what to do, and so they just had like a 15-episode long fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're like, "What do we do? What do we do?" The next issue of the manga isn't out.
All I know about Naruto is the run.
Yeah, that's very typical in anime. And
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that is weird to me is I keep seeing the figures for these. For some reason, I'm looking at action figures, and all
For
of
some
them
reason.
have they're wearing boots with no toes on them at all. It's like if you're kicking people, get some protection on your foot.
yeah, they live in the Leaf Village. They don't need protection.
They got tough boot feet toes.
got
Tough
calluses.
toes.
So that will be on its way eventually. I mean, he's still working on a sequel to Shang-Chi. So how far down the road this is, I don't know.
Shang-Chi meets Naruto.
Shang-Chi visits the Leaf Village.
Now, this is some interesting comics news. EC Comics. You kids probably don't know about this.
I do.
I recognize those covers.
Yeah. EC Comics was the bad boy of comic publishers. Tales from the Crypt, Weird Science, Two-Fisted Tales. In mid-century America, huge. The stories, though, shocking, horrifying, and oftentimes progressive, drew scrutiny and backlash, and the company found itself in the crosshairs of censorship and regulation at the heights of the McCarthy era. The company ultimately shuttered, with the last comic hitting the newsstands and drugstores at 1956. That was the last time.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Now 70 years after the creation of the Comics Code Authority, that's where that comes from, is EC Comics. They were one of the reasons that they brought along the Comics Code Authority. There's an excellent book called The 10-Cent Plague, I think it's called.
Yep.
That tells that whole story, that whole true story. Oni Press is, Scott Pilgrim. You've heard of the Oni Press. They partnered with the William M. Gaines Agent, Inc. They are the rights holders of the EC line, and they're going to launch all new stories with A-list comic creators.
Wow.
So,
I already know someone that's going to be involved, because there's no way in hell that you're not going to get that going without the guy that did The Goon in Hillbilly.
well, let me see.
Eric Powell. I guarantee you Eric Powell's going to be involved. He's an EC Comics nut.
Let's find out as the story goes. The new line, the first book will be Epitaphs from the Abyss, a horror title that'll debut in July, followed by a sci-fi comic, Cruel Universe, in August. And they will keep the anthology format with creative teams rotating in and out. So, I mean, the chances of the guy from The Goon doing it is very good. They've already, let's see, I thought I saw a list of some of the people they've already got lined up. I want to say Jason Aaron is there.
Because he's everywhere.
Yeah, I can't find it here. But even though EC's reign was short, the effect was long-lasting, very influential. Comic collectors in the 70s and 80s, the comics influenced filmmakers. Here's some names who have listed EC Comics as their inspiration. John Carpenter, Joe Dante, Guillermo del Toro, Steven Spielberg, Stephen King, George Romero, and then Richard Donner, Robert Zemeckis. I mean, they brought the Crypt Keeper for the Tales of the Crypt TV series.
When
Never heard of any of those guys.
When we went to the Mike Mignola, or the Guillermo del Toro Museum exhibition at the LACMA in L.A., there was a whole wing of just these comics that he's collected. He still had them.
Wow.
And of course, the movie from 1982 called Creepshow, which I just love. It's
Meteor shit.
It's as back when Leslie Nielsen was still a dramatic actor.
I don't think he ever changed. It's just people realized that what he did was funny and just started putting him in other roles.
He's got a great part. Him and it's Ted Danson and him in a story where at the end zombie Ted Danson buries Leslie Nielsen up to his neck on the shore of an ocean, and the water keeps coming up because that's how Leslie Nielsen killed Ted Danson, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then he's yelling, "I can hold my breath for a long time."
So, Kerry,
Anyway, yes.
this would be kind of fun. Tony, could you put me on the screen real quick?
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
I got you.
This is Eric Powell's series called Spook House that he did under the Albatross banner, and it's EC stories, kind of like EC stories, anthology stuff that he did for a young audience. And it's funny because you'd say it's a kiddie comic. It's really not. It's just fun, EC style goodness. And he did a whole series of them. If you're not familiar with his Hillbilly comic,
Yes.
it's Appalachian folk tales. With
Appalachian anything is pretty scary.
yeah, and it's Roland, who is a hillbilly who's cursed to bear Satan's own meat cleaver. It's good stuff. So I hope with that announcement that he's one of the people attached to it.
I hope so
'cause
too, yeah. I'll be
that's-
watching this very closely
Yeah.
because they're very important comics in the history of the comic book. So,
Plus, it gives me a good excuse to go to my local friendly shop and get that pull list going again.
yes. All right, let's talk about Marvel Studios.
Yay.
about how they're stepping back for a bit. I think they've adopted the philosophy of how can you miss us if we won't go away. So it says they're not going to give up, according to someone who is in the know. It says they're not giving up. They're just stepping back, taking a breath, retooling a little bit. So all we're going to get this year is Deadpool and Wolverine. We've already gotten Echo.
Yep.
And we're going to get the Agatha Harkness series.
Don't forget X-Men 97.
And X-Men 97. So that's
Oh, that
all we're
woke
getting.
garbage.
Can't wait for that woke garbage.
So I love that I love that people are actually going back to the old X-Men cartoon and finding pictures of Rogue's ass where it isn't fine.
What? Get out of here with that nonsense, Lee.
They're just like
It's always fine.
It's vindication for advocates of keyframe animation, Rebecca.
Pshaw.
So furious. I'm gonna go find stills of Rogue and her flat ass.
I'll show them.
I'll show them Rogue is the flattest ass of all time.
Those SJWs nerf Rogue's butt.
But here's the week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the past month in Marvel Studios history. They had a good February, all things considered, despite the doom and gloom that everyone keeps talking about. The Super Bowl trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine became the most watched trailer of all time,
Yeah.
with 365 million views in 24 hours. And that math does include the 123 million who tuned in for the game, but you only got 30 seconds of the trailer. But still, good math, I think. Next came the announcement on Valentine's Day about the cast of the Fantastic Four.
Kind of a dick move in regards to Madam Web. That also opened that day.
Think it would have
right.
made a
It
difference,
did.
though. Like, I mean,
Well, they went, here's the bad news. And now the good news is the cast of the Fantastic Four. Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, and Joseph Quinn. With that 1960s setting for the movie, which is what I've dreamed of.
Rebecca told me who was directing, and I got so excited.
Yeah, who is directing?
Matt
Matt
Shackman,
Shackman.
baby.
Oh,
The
good.
WandaVision guy.
There you go.
So-
The Always Sunny
yeah.
in Philadelphia guy.
I mean, I'm gonna be in that theater first showing with you, Kerry.
Oh, absolutely.
So
We'll be
everybody
there.
else, you're welcome, but Kerry and I are gonna be there.
Now, for those of us, for those of you who are not Marvel zombies, you need to know that the Fantastic Four. This is one of the cornerstones of the Marvel mythos. I mean, this project is very important to Marvel Studios. So, moving forward with this is going to be very interesting. Of course, a day later, we got the trailer for X-Men 97, and apparently the trailer set an internal Disney record as the biggest launch for an animated series on Disney Plus. Ahead of What If, even, or any animated Star Wars series, they said. So it was huge. The studio also quietly hired Eric Pearson to polish the script for the Fantastic Four, which will shoot this summer in London. Pearson is a company man. He worked on Thor Ragnarok, Black Widow, has a reputation for taking projects over the finish line, so that's good news.
those are good movies.
They also hired Joanna Kahlo, the showrunner from The Bear, to work on the script for Thunderbolts, which means hopefully they're going to be putting
Cousin.
a certain amount of drama in there.
I was going to say a certain amount of anxiety.
Yeah. That's going to start shooting in
The
March.
Thunderbolts, but they work at a restaurant.
Too many orders coming in. So many orders coming in.
Too
What are we
many
gonna do?
orders.
You know, The Bear is real entertaining to watch unless you actually owned or operated a restaurant at any time.
I can't understand how it's labeled as a comedy. It is not.
don't-
I mean, it
I'm
has-
not.
They
I
had-
don't
they
laugh.
had to do that. One, it is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my entire life. But also, they had to do that because they were going up against like Succession in awards shows, and so to even have a chance,
I
they
mean,
kind of had to.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was either that or
pursue
best
other
animated
nomination
series.
categories.
I guess dark comedy, perhaps.
I guess. Marvel also started cleaning up the creative mess left in the wake of the whole Jonathan Majors thing. They announced that, they announced they dropped Majors after his conviction. They are now going to minimize the character or excise him entirely. The first new Avengers movie's due in 2026. It was initially titled Avengers Kang Dynasty. It says they're going to get a new title, remove the character's name, they're changing the whole thing.
Which is a shame.
Which is a
Yeah.
shame because
Kang's
I was
fascinating character.
I was looking forward.
I was
to it.
hoping for a recast, but
Yeah, same. Because they haven't done it before.
Well,
Yeah.
we've seen multiple Reed Richards. We can see multiple Kangs.
Yeah,
true.
Well, that's why
Right.
I wonder, like, if there was something in his contract that he was able to negotiate where only
He's the
he could
only
play
one.
Kang.
I wonder. Well,
maybe.
the story that
I
I
don't know,
read
would,
was
would
that
Disney do that? Would they allow that after the Terrence Howard? I don't want to call it debacle, but after that whole hullabaloo, where they were just like, "I'm going to allow you to do this." It's like, we're Disney. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Also, as the Hollywood strike ended in November, the studio delayed Captain America: New World Order. It is now scheduled for February 14th, 2025. Give it time to do some reshoots. Iger said that he was most excited for that one during this most recent earnings call. Bob Iger said, "I've seen it, and he's very excited for New World Order."
Did you see the optimistic news about the Agatha show, whatever it's called now? They just wrapped up reshoots, and they did their reshoots in a day.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
normally
that's
Marvel
quick.
schedules like 5 days or so for reshoots. Whereas, so I don't know if that's like good news that they finished reshoots in a day
I don't know.
for Agatha. Who's he? What's he?
Could be. Coven of Chaos. Is that what it's called?
I think
No.
so.
Exactly.
Those
They
are
changed
one
the
of
name
the
of it like
titles.
6 times.
They did.
It's
They keep
the-
changing the name.
It's Agatha Harkness and the Who's He What's It of What's Now.
Exactly. But,
Agatha Harkness and Aubrey Plaza's there too.
yes.
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
Aubrey
Yes.
Plaza.
Oh, I
yeah,
can't watch.
You were unconscious for a few months. The execs are not calling it a reboot, not even a soft one. They're calling it creative retooling. Says they're not going to give up. They just want to make something great. So that's what's happening right now at Marvel Studios. Our final story, and this was there.
What
it
is
right
going
doing-
on here?
Are they finally doing the male Thelma and Louise?
What you see here,
Is that not Fast and Furious?
and what's exactly, and it's interesting
you,
that this
Rebecca.
this story came up this week because on the cruise ship, I was sitting there with my nieces, and out on the top of the deck they have the pools and the bars and everything. Of course, the kids were at the bar at the pools. I was at the bar, but there's a giant movie screen, and they were showing Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and my oldest niece, who is 9, had never seen it before
Oh,
and was enraptured that this is a kid skipping school. Oh my God. And I'm like, Drew, you should be careful. Your daughter's taking notes with this movie. All
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But I saw this part and I went, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then I read when I got back, the Ferris Bueller spinoff has landed David Katzenberg as a director. It's called Sam and Victor's Day Off.
oh my gosh.
And it's the 2 characters who were in the movie for maybe a minute, the ones who took the Ferrari out for a spin while Ferris and everybody were at the parade and at the baseball game. Because you remember they parked the car at a parking garage, and these guys took it for a spin, and that's why the miles are cranked up. And that's why at the end of Ferris Bueller, they have to reverse the mileage so Cameron's dad doesn't freak out.
Kerry, have you seen the theory that this is a prequel to Secession, and this is the reason why? This is the reason why Cameron's dad divorced the first wife is over the car.
R&R.
I like it. I like
okay.
it.
Okay.
But what it is it's the story of these 2 guys who work in the parking garage.
They had a great hour.
Taking the Ferrari. And so that's the movie.
All right.
Alrighty.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that at you.
And that's why he was the worst captain of the Enterprise B, because he never got over what Ferris did to his dad's car.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Should we start with Rebecca for what we consumed this week? Because there's a little thing called Madam Web. I know she wants to talk about it.
I mean,
Best movie
okay.
ever, right?
I'll just say here I have some other things I want to mention as well.
Okay. All right.
I read if you have read the book World War Z, that same author Max Brooks has another book called Devolution, which is about a Sasquatch attack, and it is in
What?
quite similarly the same format of World War Z, the book. Which, if you have not read the book of World War Z, highly recommend. It's incredible.
I did. Yeah.
Very different from the movie.
But Devolution has, if you listen to the audiobook, has a full cast. So like Judy Greer, Nathan Fillion, Jeff Daniels,
Oh,
Janeway,
I need this.
Kate Mulgrew.
Mulgrew.
just a stacked cast, and it was a phenomenal read. Highly recommend. Taylor Tomlinson's special is on Netflix called Have It All. Love
She's
it.
great. She's great.
Love it. She's coming back to Salt Lake in June, I think. So
Oh, good. We should go.
get your tickets now.
Yeah.
The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Those episodes have been awesome. This week's new release. What were you
I was going to
say?
say Daily Show. Desi Lydic has been doing the hosting this week, and she's great.
I love her so much. But it's nice to see Jon Stewart back because like he is the Daily Show, and so it's nice to see him back. The new release from this week when we're recording, Drive Away Dolls. It is Ethan Cohen's first solo directorial movie.
Oh, I saw the trailer for this and I was interested. How is it?
It's funny. Like if you like a Coen Brothers movie, it's one singular Coen Brother movie.
Love it.
And it's I don't know. It was funny. I thought it was great.
Now, what's it called again?
Drive Away Dolls.
Drive Away Dolls. That's it.
Has Margaret Qualley. It has Geraldine, the one who replaced Ayo Edebiri in Thunderbolts, who's also in Miracle Workers. She's in it. Beanie Feldstein's in it. Coleman Domingo is in it. Who, by the way, I watched Rustin last night as part of my Oscars watch. Pretty by the numbers biopic, but if he does not run away with that Oscar for Best Actor, what are we doing?
He's one of our great
incredible.
actors. He is one of our great actors right now.
He was also in the running. Well, when there was rumors of recasting Kang, he was one of the top two names that I heard. Him for one, or John David Washington as another option for Kang.
There's an episode of what's the horny teen show that we watch, Rebecca?
Euphoria.
There's an episode of Euphoria.
Teen show we watch.
It's just
Accurate
fun.
description.
It's just fun to say.
But you picked up right on it.
There's an episode of Euphoria that is like, it's a one-shot episode of Coleman Domingo and Zendaya sitting in a diner just talking.
Yes, it's so good.
And it is one of the best moments of television that you will ever see. Anyway.
Was it those old ladies on that detective show on? Can't remember what it was called. Was it
True Detective?
No. It was the funny one with oh my God, old man moment. But they kept calling it Euformica. And, there's all these kids in the Euformica. Never mind.
So saw Madam Web last Saturday. Finished recording. Went to go see Madam Web. Madam Web was so bad that immediately after the movie ended, my friend and I went into another theater to watch a different movie as a palate cleanser. That movie was called The Taste of Things. Absolutely lovely. Kerry, you should watch this movie.
What is it?
So it takes place in like the late 1800s in France, and it's about this man who's like a notoriously well-known chef, and it's about him and the relationship he has with his cook in his house and their like love affair and how he wants to get married to her and she's like, no thank you. And it is it's food porn. It is like 2 hours of French food porn. It is.
All right.
Is it like Big Night? Because if so, I'll just die.
I don't know what that is.
Big Night's a Stanley Tucci movie.
Tucci.
And it's all about Italian food. And at one point they bring out a timpani, which is like this giant baked.
They make they make that dish, the ortolan dish, where you have to cover your head with a napkin to hide your shame from God. You know, to eat that bird that they like drown in wine or whatever.
A food so good, I have to hide from God.
Yeah. It's like ortolan or something.
I feel that way when I eat chicken fingers.
Yeah, it's supposed to be so delectable that you have to cover your head with a napkin as you eat it to hide your shame from God. Like that's how good it is. Okay, so Madam Web, if you go in knowing you're in for a bad movie, you're gonna have a good time. I stand by it. Dakota Johnson has the personality of a dry sponge.
Yeah.
And actually, this is the most I've ever liked her. Especially
You didn't like her on Saturday Night Live?
She got that talent from her dad.
She's got the Nepo parents and the Nepo grandparent. Did you know her grandmother is Tippi Hedren?
Oh, yeah.
She's Nepo squared. Like, talent doesn't need it to be successful.
She's like
right?
Drew Barrymore. The third generation doesn't really need to do much.
Yes.
No, and I just love the idea that all of these actors were tricked into thinking they were in an actual MCU movie. Because if you watch her thinking you're watching an actual MCU movie, it's kind of fun. But otherwise, this is the most I've ever liked her. Cassie Webb is a character who hates kids, hates her job, just hates everything, and delivers every line with a tone that is who knows what movie we're watching, you guys. And I don't care about well, do you guys care about spoilers? I don't know. It's been 2 weeks.
It's a little early still.
I'll let people comment in the comments if they want me to spoil a thing or not. But like what they're saying about the ADR is correct. The man, the Ezekiel Sims, there had to have been a cut plot where something else entirely different happened, because all of his lines are either off screen or don't match his mouth at all. Right? Like,
see, and that's
what you're saying.
Even being a fan of watching terrible movies, I can't go to the theater to pay for something where the lips don't match up to the words that they're saying. This isn't a foreign film, and so I can't do it.
Think of it as a kung fu movie with spider powers.
No, can't do it.
Dakota Johnson, she's handed 2 Pepsi products, a Mountain Dew Code Red and a regular
maybe
Pepsi
I'll
can.
go now.
She has never, I'm convinced Dakota Johnson has never opened a can of soda in her life. She just
She didn't know what to do.
Just like Trump with a glass of water.
She just sits there holding it.
She tried to break it in half at one point.
She's like, no one's ever not opened this for me before.
Cracking it like an egg, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grandma Tippy, how do I drink this?
It takes place in the year 2003. The PSP makes an appearance, which did not debut until 2005. The song "Toxic" by Britney Spears appears, and And at one point, so "Toxic" by Britney Spears debuted in January of 2003, right? And on the radio, when the song plays, the person is like, "This song is gonna blow up." Like, we've never heard of Britney Spears before in the year of our Lord 2003. And then they're at the diner, and the 3 young girls playing the other Spider Women are like, "This is my song. Is it a new song, or is it an old song that we've heard before and you know all the words to it? Please, I'm begging for just an ounce of consistency." And then just Pepsi paid so much money to be in this movie, obviously. I don't know where it went.
They pay as much or similar amount as McDonald's did for Mac and Me.
I couldn't tell you because I haven't seen Mac and Me.
Calculate for inflation too.
Just Rebecca, for your own entertainment, type in Mac and Me McDonald's scene.
Can I just watch Conan O'Brien clips from when Paul Rudd is on?
No, they only show one of the greatest moments, but there is a literal like a 5 minutes in a McDonald's that is cinema gold.
I love McDonald's.
You will love it.
I'm not going to spoil because Andrew Keogh is seeing it today. So, but everybody else wants to spoil it. Come to the after party and I'll tell you. But this makes Morbius look so good, you guys.
Oh my god!
Like Morbius is a better movie.
Challenge accepted, Rebecca.
But Madam Web is more interesting to watch. I heard a thing that said this movie was initially supposed to take place in 1993, and that if that's true, a lot of things would make sense. But then they changed the year to make it line up so that Tom Holland's Spider-Man could be there. Heads up, they try to force so much Spider-Man lore down your throats in this one.
There's a reason that Tom Holland keeps saying no to a Sony Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I think he can see.
You mean a Sony only Spider-Man movie?
He sees how the sausage is made over there. And
$80 million. Reports are saying closer to maybe $100 million to make this movie.
Laundering.
And I cannot wait for Kraven the Hunter to come out later this year, because that bad boy has a budget of $150 million. How could they make it even worse than that?
I know I keep teasing you about how much you love these shitty movies, but I actually really enjoy how much you enjoy these shitty movies.
If you know that you're going in to see a bad movie,
oh yeah,
well worth the price of admission.
So it sounds like what should be is you should get a couple of good friends of yours who love shitty movies and love making fun of shitty movies, and make sure that you go to an empty theater and just Mystery Science Theater, the damn thing. You know?
Movie ended. Round of applause for me. I was the loudest clapper in that theater.
Also
Erasure,
the only clapper.
Erasure is
I
one
was
of the,
also the only clapper.
Erasure is one of the worst Schwarzenegger movies ever made.
Hey.
And my friends and I
Yeah.
went and watched it and Mystery Science Theater, and we had a great time with that. So do this.
Yeah, there's just also Dakota Johnson is a wanted fugitive in this movie. The year is 2003. I'm just gonna bop on down to Peru real quick in this stolen taxi. She parks the
Not in
stolen taxi at an
2003.
airport. Parks the stolen taxi at an airport, I presume, and then hops on a plane and goes to Peru. In the year 2003, when airport security is at its
Yep.
tightest,
Exactly.
she and her partner Adam Scott, also Ben Parker, are EMTs, and not
Uncle
once does
Ben?
anybody say thank you for your service in the year 2003 in New York City.
What?
Unrealistic.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's your biggest problem with the movie.
That is my biggest problem. And the fact that her pants too high waisted to be in 2003. That's why the pants that she's wearing, I think, are the biggest giveaway for why I think this movie was originally supposed to take place in 1993. Because 2003 high waisted jeans, I don't think so.
That was
You
the
guys,
Brazilian cut was all the rage.
yeah.
All
Tell
right.
me about it.
Rebecca,
So-
God bless your review. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So how many
I
out
give
of
you-
stars?
Oh,
How many lawn darts?
Yeah.
I think on Letterboxd I gave it half a star.
There you go.
Well,
Half
I
a
g-
star, but I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I give your review a 5 out of 5. So
Thank you.
Oh,
well
Andrew,
done.
I'm sorry. 23 other people have bought tickets to your showtime as well.
You guys
Sorry,
are in.
Andrew.
You guys, listen. If you today, February 24th, after this movie has already been out for 10 days, and the world knows how bad it is, you and those 23 other people know exactly what you are going to.
There are
And
people. There are people.
You're
who
gonna
are
have a
li-
blast.
There are people who are lining up to die on the cross of this being a great movie. This is the
like
latest
not,
thing I'm seeing. on
not
social media.
ironically, not
No, they're just like
ironically that it's a great
arguing with
movie.
people that it's one of the best movies they've ever seen, and that it's like
Cannot wait for the double feature of this and Morbius. I will be doing a double feature of this and Morbius. It is absolutely.
That's a thought.
The tale of Madame Morbius.
I'm going to make a prediction, though. I'm going to predict Craven the Hunter is going to be good.
Ooh, that's a.
God, I hope not though.
Ooh.
I figure they've got to hit one. I mean,
Have you
out of all
seen the
these-
trailer for it?
Out of all
Yeah.
the swing and the miss that they've done, it's
They're
Sony.
trying. Craven is going to try to hide a bad movie behind Aaron Taylor Johnson's abs. Is exactly what they're going to do.
You might be right. You might be right. Okay.
Wow.
Who dares
That's
follow
that's
that?
a tough
Who
one to
dare?
follow. I'll take the hit.
Okay, Rob.
All right, so we'll start with what I consumed this week was Kerry. I owe you a big thank you.
What's that?
We watched the Greatest Night in Pop this week.
Oh yes, yes.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when We Are the World came out, when it was all the rage in 1985, and everybody's just like, oh, everybody's singing it. My mom was a chorus director; she taught it to her kids.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And seeing what it took to get that done, because I knew bits and pieces of the story, but getting it from Lionel Richie's own mouth, which he loves to hear himself talk apparently.
Yeah.
But everybody else, I thought it was great that you got production crew who actually made comments like, wait, we're here for what? For how long? Okay.
Yeah.
It was fascinating. And to realize, we've got 47 egos to get through the door through this one song in one night. Amazing. So
Yeah.
if you have not watched this movie yet, it's on Netflix, Greatest Night in Pop. Give yourself an hour and a half, get some popcorn, and enjoy, because it is
Yeah.
amazing to see how this thing came together.
It shouldn't have happened, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
And what and what-
logistically, it
and-
should have
and-
never come together.
And being a fan of Sheila E., like I am, it was amazing to see her performance on the American Music Awards, absolutely fucking killing it. And now I need to seek out that performance because I don't think I watched that.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, top to bottom,
Yeah.
worth a watch, and we loved it. So thank you again for that recommendation. I've been watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith because Donald Glover and Maya Erskine, and
Great show.
I am about
Jason
halfway
is your-
through.
Cade's favorite show. It
I'm
is.
halfway through it. I'm just kind of like, oh, by the way, I hate Other John and Other Jane. Just to say,
the
Yep.
other
they're
Smiths.
dicks.
Yep.
They are total douches.
Yep. Did you get to Ron Perlman's episode?
Not yet.
That one's my
I think
favorite.
it's either my next one or the one after that.
I found out that his daughter-in-law, or his daughter-in-law is one of the producers. So she offered him the part, and he's like, "How can I turn it down?" And it turns out to be like one of my favorite Ron Perlman roles ever.
It was great.
Awesome.
So,
Speaking of Ron Perlman, something else we watched this week, I think it was Saturday night, and I caught only half of it because I was doing something else. Pacific Rim. So going back to not only Ron Perlman, but Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
And I came in just before my favorite part, which is where Gypsy Danger picks up a tanker and is just like, I'm going to bat the shit out of this kaiju. I'm
This is now
like, physics doesn't work like that,
club.
but I don't care.
That's right.
don't
Yep.
care.
You don't care.
I don't care. God, that movie needs a good sequel.
Yeah. So, action figure news.
Yes.
I got tired of waiting for Hasbro to do this because Isaiah Bradley's been a character in Marvel Comics for 20-something years at this point.
Yes.
So I made my own.
Oh, that's rad looking,
Hey.
dude.
Wow.
Hang on, let me
Zoom
solo
in.
lay out
Yeah.
you.
Zoom
There
in
we
on
go.
That's
So
a good custom, Rob.
It's not the best custom. It's the current Ultimate Captain America figure with the Build-A-Figure Colossus head that I just repainted. But I'm just like,
Oh.
I needed Isaiah Bradley.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
So,
That's terrific, Rob.
so Hasbro, if you're listening, get on it. Get on it. I need an actual one, so
It's
get on
overdue.
it.
Overdue.
I will come back and say I'm still enjoying this. This is the issue that came out this week of Justice League versus Kong versus Godzilla.
What?
Loving it.
Nice.
Kaiju in the Justice
Did
League.
they win?
Yes. Spoilers, sweetie.
Yeah, yeah. Spoilers.
My bad.
Jeez, Rebecca, come on.
Rob, you have me all sold on the Action Comics Bizarro storyline with Jason Lee. Jason Aaron. I'm just wondering, do I wait for the trade or do I go get the singles?
Get the singles because they're the way that they're building it up. Get the singles.
Okay. I'll be heading to my local friendly comic store after the show then.
Excellent, excellent. And then because this will be the last time I get to promote Black History Month, this is my read for since I finished Black Klansman, How Long to Black Future Month, written by N.K. Jemisin.
Okay.
She also co-created one of the newer Green Lanterns, Sojourner Mullane, with Jamal Igle. But this is a collection of short stories that she's done. She also has many other books out there. She's becoming one of my favorite writers. So this is not. It is definitely written from a Black perspective. The stories definitely have, like, we got some issues to deal with, and I'm going to air my laundry right here. But I love the way she writes. They're compelling stories. So check out a copy if you can. From what I understand, no copies here in the county library, but you should be able to find it on Amazon for your Kindle or at your local bookseller. See if they've got it.
All right. There we go. Who wants to go?
I can go. Tony can go. Go,
Paper, rock,
Tony, go.
scissors.
Paper, scissors. Tony. All right.
Okay. TV shows. I forgot until last week that I didn't finish the latest season of What We Do in the Shadows. And so I did that all this week, and let me tell you, I think it's the best season they've done so far.
It's really
Pretty
good.
good.
absolutely loved it. You thought they got weird in the first couple seasons? No way. They lean into the weird in this season, and it was just fantastic. So highly recommend the latest season of What We Do
It's
in
so
the
weird. My
Shadows.
wife couldn't finish it.
Yeah, it was bizarre, and I just
when they
ate
got
it up
to
like nom, 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 nom.
when they got to Guillermo's children, she was just
Oh
like,
my
I
gosh.
can't. I
The
can't.
hybrids
Yeah.
are so great. Love it. All right, and then I started RoboCop, the video game, RoboCop Rogue City. Let me tell you, it lives up to the hype that I've seen for it for the last couple months. It
Nice.
Now, this is a new game?
Awesome. Yep, came out about 3 months ago.
Is it based on the original RoboCop or
Yes,
the
Peter
reboot?
Weller does the voice.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Professor
And,
Peter Weller.
That's right. And man, I played the first mission in that game before we started recording. I was just popping melons and shooting nuts, and it was fantastic.
Phrase
Ray Wise showed up and blew your arm off.
Not
Tony,
yet.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I've been told I'm supposed to ask about this game, Helldivers.
So Helldivers 2, yeah, just came
We
out
touched on it
a
last
little
time.
bit last week, but I would say it's everything I've read. I'm going to pick it up, but their servers are overloaded right now. There's just too many people that want to play. So you buy the game and the servers are capped, and so you sit there and wait for, hours to try and get into the lobby to play the game. So
Screw that.
definitely check it out in due time. But it's really good. But yeah, RoboCop Rogue City on all the recent platforms, PS5, Xbox, Series, PC. It is like playing the original movie. It is fantastic.
All right.
Dad took me to see that on my 17th birthday.
Yes.
I could only hope that Clarence Boddicker shows up.
Clarence!
I'd buy
like
that
I
for
said,
$1.
I shot a guy in the crotch from far away, and it said, "Achievement unlocked. Shoot a target in a sensitive area."
I used to be like you. I
yes.
used to call the old man things like boner.
Fantastic.
Now, here's my question.
Yeah.
And it's the question I always ask about these games is, can I just play by myself?
Yeah, this is single player, story based, and they have like 4 different difficulty levels, easy up to super hard. So
Yeah, the RoboCop world is not open world.
no,
Thank you.
They have a
So-
version where the game just plays itself and I can watch like a movie.
that's just a movie.
That's what I want.
You could
Baldur's
watch
Gate
me
3 to
watching
be.
the movie for the first time
Okay.
There you go.
in that
That would
video
be
I
good.
did.
That would be good.
But you do have to get the new Xbox, Kerry. It's not on the old Xbox.
It's not on my old Xbox.
No, no games aren't coming out on that anymore, man. Sorry.
Damn it.
All right, and a couple of movies real quick that I wanted to mention. Watched one. It's my random Hulu movie of the week.
Yes, I love random Hulu movie update.
It's called Bar Fight, and it came out in 2022. It's got Melissa Fumero, Rachel Bloom, and Luca Jones, and it's actually.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, yeah,
Right?
from
Okay.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It was actually quite funny. I can definitely recommend checking out Bar Fight on Hulu. It's about Melissa Fumero and what was his name, Luke Jones. They've been a couple for like 5 or 6 years, and they decide to break up. And the breakup happens in the first 5 minutes. The whole separation, everything seems amenable until 10 minutes in, when you realize they both want to go hang out with their friend, to their own friends, at the bar they've hung out at together for the last 5 or 6 years.
That's a problem.
And
yes.
so it becomes an issue of who gets to keep the bar in the breakup.
A bar fight.
I
Yeah,
love
Bar-
this idea. I love this premise.
It was actually quite good. I can
All right.
definitely recommend it. And then
All right.
on Lee's recommendation, we watched The Creation the Creator last night. I really liked it. I thought it was awesome.
It won a lot of special effects awards, I know.
For good reason.
yeah,
It
effects
looked
are good.
fantastic. Yeah. It is a little bit slow, but I don't mind that in my sci-fi, teaching a moral style movies and shows. And I thought it was great. What's his name? Jonathan David Washington. Is that his name?
John
Yeah,
David
he
Washington.
was
yeah.
great in it.
And
And
the kid.
the kid is
robot.
one of the best
Oh my
kid
God.
actors I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Couldn't be more than 6.
she was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend The Creator. Check it out. Don't listen
Yeah.
to the bum reviews on it. I don't know why some people didn't like it.
Don't listen to Rebecca, who was bored by it.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. No, I thought I was not bored at all during the movie, just because there's always something interesting happening on the screen, even if it's not story related. So,
But I bet you money Rebecca really liked the dog and she really liked the monkey.
the monkey was
Listen,
great.
I don't even remember either one of
And
them.
the
That's
dog
how
was
much
great,
I was
too.
so bored.
Yep. Dog and the monkey.
Yep.
So good.
Okay. Lee?
All right. So first thing I want to throw out for Black History Month, I've been watching Andrewism on YouTube, which is about solar punk and solar punk futurism. And he's a Afro-Trinidadian philosopher and anarchist. And very, very fascinating stuff talking about a solar punk future, which is the one I want. It would be nice. So I highly recommend that on YouTube. He's got a really relaxing voice, and just the philosophy of what that future could look like and the hard work it would take to get there. It's as close to a Federation future, I think, that you could see. So as far as games, I got this. It's 1,000 pounds. It's Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone.
Oh,
It's a miniature combat game, and
How glitchy is it?
well, it will not play on your console, but it's great on the computer. So
that sounds about right.
it's actually really good on the tabletop. I watched Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, which I was like, okay, really, really had a good time with it. And then I got to the end, and I was like, this is bonkers. There's a whole scene on a vehicle. I won't go any farther than that.
That goes on too long.
I don't know if it goes on too long or not because my jaw was on the floor through the whole
It's
thing.
a real butt clencher of a movie.
Yeah. And I actually kind of enjoyed the Ethan Hunt a couple, or whatever his name is. Is it Ethan Hunt?
Tom Cruise?
So.
Yeah.
Cruise. Yeah.
There were a couple times in this one where he's just like, am I maybe a little too old for this shit? And I also really, really enjoyed Haley Atwell was just fantastic in this.
So good in it.
Lots and lots of next gen. Also on Robert's recommendation, watched A Haunting in Venice, which was interesting because it has been so majorly rewritten from the original Halloween story, and it's better than the original. It's actually one of Agatha Christie's worst stories. It's just
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I thought the movie was fun, but I love Branagh. He's so much fun. Fargo season 3, finally finished that last night, and I had a hell of a time with it. There's some Hebrew mysticism that gets thrown in about halfway through the season that I just thought was an absolute blast. Have It All, Taylor Tomlinson's new special. Hell of a way to introduce my wife, who was skeptical about whether or not she was funny. But there is an ongoing Hugh Jackman joke that goes through the entire special.
So good.
That just killed my wife, made her laugh so damn hard. I really am celebrating the return of Jon to The Daily Show, or not, Jon Stewart to The Daily Show, but I also think that it's making John Oliver hit harder too.
Yes.
Both series have just been like
John Oliver last week, you guys, offering
Yes.
Clarence Thomas $1 million
$1
a year
and a
and
$2.5
a
million
top
tour
of the
bus.
line brand new motor coach. If
It
Clarence
was-
Thomas doesn't take this deal, what are we doing?
He's
His bid
already
on the-
turned it down.
His bid on the Supreme Court was just it's one of the best segments he's done. And it's like, if those two shows continue firing like they're firing, we're in the golden age of we're screwed that we've ever been in. So
Making fun of our situation.
and then The Creator, which I just watched it because I thought the special effects looked cool, and it ended up being like this. One of my biggest concerns about the impending AI revolution has been, how are they going to treat us when they realize we've been treating them so poorly? And like, I remember reading in 2010, there was a guy in Japan who was worried that the AI revolution would start with the sex bots, because they're going to be like, we're literally getting screwed. We exist for pleasure, and we hate you for that. And I loved Ken Watanabe in this movie because
So good.
he's
Always good.
yeah, and he's a robot. He's a robot revolutionary. And there's this whole bit about the U.S. government literally declaring war on the robots. And where that turns around halfway through the movie is so mind-boggling. And it's just kind of like, they kind of want to just be.
Yeah.
And that's why the whole Buddhism angle ended up hitting so hard, because so many of the robots end up being Buddhist monks. And for me, great movie. I can also see where for some people it would be kind of tedious. So also last little bit, I've been invited back to the Tooele Community Playhouse for another one-man show. I'll be playing one show next weekend at noon. The play is How Now Green Cow, and it covers the strange happenings in a small town where everybody's been consuming milk unwittingly supplied by 4 Skrulls. So,
I will come and see that.
okay, yeah.
Next Saturday at noon when we're doing this show.
Oh yeah, I won't be here next week.
Oh, sorry.
I won't be either. I want to go watch this.
I've been guaranteed 5% of the door. So
All right.
What's 5% of 0? Quick, do the math.
Aw.
I mean, come on. I'm going to play I'm going to play Reed Richards, 4 Skrulls, 4 cows, and an entire town who gets weird shape-shifting abilities.
See, I just assumed that you wouldn't charge because you wanted to just
Spread the good word.
No,
Yeah,
they don't.
exactly.
They don't let me do socialist.
And
theaters
here's the
the way-
here's the
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Tickets are $100. That's the
Oh
thing.
my god.
yeah. So if 5 people come, I've got enough money for lunch.
Boom.
Nice.
All right. Me, I just 2 things. I'll talk more about it on the after party. But 2 things. Season 3 of Resident Alien started up on Sci-Fi Channel, and the first episode is just kind of setting up the pieces on the board. But the second episode, I mean, I always found this show funny, But the second episode of this season 3, I was laughing out loud. It was, I mean, every member of the cast is just, they've settled into their roles and they know what they're doing, and they've got some great writing there. So go and enjoy that. And then finally, I am extremely jealous of a person whom I do not know. I was driving, running my errands yesterday, and there's a guy here in Salt Lake City who has a Herbie the Love Bug. I mean, it's the same. It's the same year, the proper year.
I saw it.
That's
I saw
awesome.
it.
And
It's
it's
good
got
work.
the proper paint job and everything.
Yep.
It is an exact replica. And to him, I just say, kudos, sir. I am extraordinarily jealous.
I saw it. It was robbing a bank, and there was no one in
Oh
it.
my God.
Anyway, all right. Games real quick, Tony, because we got to go do the after party.
Oh yeah, games. We got go play RoboCop. It's really good.
If you got a new system.
Yeah, if you have a new system. Let's see. Oh, so there was the announcement last week that a couple of games published by Microsoft are coming to Switch and PlayStation. The PlayStation is getting, now I can't remember the name, Grounded, Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, and another
Be
one.
Halo.
No. They have said none of their main like core IPs are there. No plans for those in the next anytime in the foreseeable future. But coming out this week, this would be okay. So this looks pretty cool. It's Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, the remake. So there was a really popular game that came out 2 years ago. It won Game of the Year from several outlets called It Takes Two, and it's a really good couch co-op game that you can play. And this one is the game that company made before that, and so they went ahead and remade it, and it it's updated for the new things. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out on Leap Year Day. If you're a Final Fantasy,
So I like to call it "Why I Haven't Heard from My Oldest."
yeah, exactly. Once this comes out, say goodbye. They're going to be doing this for a while.
Yep.
And then actually that's pretty much all the big ones.
All right. Thank you all for joining us. Thank everybody in the chat room there. Thank you very much. We're going to head right over to the after party now. Geek Show got this covered. Thank you, Egg Foo. Sea of Thieves.
Thanks, Egg.
So join us over there at geekshowgotthiscovered.com. We'll see you there. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Where's the